Cibus is a leading gene editing agricultural company. Its vision is a gene editing industry without the use of transgenes or foreign DNA that are associated with GMO technologies. And with me is Dr. Peter Beetham, the CEO and co-founder of Cibus. So great to have you here on the floor of the stock exchange.
It's great to be here.
So describe the company. What is the research you're doing?
So Cibus is a leader in gene editing. So, but let me give you a little bit of background of my personal background, because it really sort of feeds into what we actually do. Because I've been in ag tech for over 35 years. I started off my career in Australia, hence my accent, and it was all about making farmers more productive and every acre more productive. A lot of technology never got to the farm gate, and it's so for us, when we think about gene editing and what we do, we're an independent trait developer. So my passion was to actually take technology and get it to a commercial opportunity. And I think what's been exciting for me over the time with Cibus is being able to take technology that's very cool about gene editing to be able to make very small changes in genes to provide a new characteristic. And that new characteristic is really valuable for farmers because it can reduce their inputs. And so not only does it make them more profitable, but it reduces the chemistry use on farm.
Yeah.
And so controlling disease, controlling insects, controlling weeds is what we're about. So we're about productivity traits.
So that's where the sustainability part of it comes in.
Correct.
Less chemicals that can be used. So what all crops are you working with right now?
So our major crops are canola or oilseed rape in Europe, rice, and we're building a soybean platform.
Okay. And do you sell directly to the farmers? Do you sell to the seed companies? Like, who are your main customers?
So we're a B2B. We sell to seed companies. Where a few years ago we were in the seed business. We've got out of the seed business. That was back in 2020. And that was really to show people, showcase what we could do. And now, our customers are directly with seed companies. So we take their best genetics, they're what they call the elite genetics. We take it to Cibus, add the traits using gene editing, and it's really very small changes in a genome of a seed, and then we hand it back to them, and then they take it to market.
I see. So you sell the technology, basically.
Exactly. We license.
Okay. And then how are the farmers, how are the harvests, how are their yields? What's their results?
So the results, so at the moment, what we're doing is we're taking the traits to the field, and we're testing it with the customers. So we've got it in their genetics, and now we're actually doing field trials, and they'll take that and then launch in around 2027 is our first launches.
Okay.
And so that's when farmers will get to see it.
Got it. And then what about consumers? What is the end benefit for them?
So for the moment, we're working on productivity traits that are really on farm economics. In the future, and I love that question because I'm a scientist like a kid in a candy store, because the technology that we have can do so many wonderful things. So in the future, we look to things like non-allergenic peanuts, gluten-free wheat, so have the baking qualities of good wheat but don't have a gluten problem. And there's so many more.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's interesting you mentioned the peanuts, because last night my daughter has played softball, and she wanted a bar, just kind of get her through the game, and I bought one with peanuts in it. And she was like, I can't eat this. Yeah. Even though they're in high school, it still is some kids, that have allergic reactions. So it's a big problem still in older kids. So. It
is, and it's what's interesting about allergens is they're not easy to eradicate, because for example, with peanut, if you knock out that gene, the peanut doesn't become a peanut. It's a little shrunken thing because it's a storage protein. So it's actually what makes the peanut.
Makes it the peanut.
So what we've got to be able to do is go in and change what they call the epitope, that is essentially triggers the allergic reaction. And so the beauty of what we do at Cibus, we're the only ones who have that technology that can really go in and do that fine editing. And so that's the future for us, and I see that exciting.
Fascinating. Now, I mentioned this is not GMO. So how is it different?
So GMO, in my mind, is like Windows 95. It was a great technology in 1995.
Okay.
there's, as a scientist, it's been a great technology. It takes a gene from another organism and transfers it into a crop.
Got it.
We don't do that.
Okay.
We use what nature's provided. So within every crop and every genome, there's a genetic capability of being able to create new characteristics. So that's been happening in normal plant breeding programs for decades.
Okay.
And what we've been able to do is accelerate that. So we don't do anything that nature couldn't do. So we often call it indistinguishable from what can occur in nature. And so what's important about that is regulatory agencies around the world have really understood this now. And so we've got a really favourable regulatory path.
Okay.
And that's a global issue because soybean, corn, and other crops are commodity crops.
Yeah.
They're shipped around the world, so you've got to have import, export, and you've got to have a clear regulatory path, allows our seed customers, seed company customers, to really take it on and move it forward.
No, because that's always been an issue with Europe, didn't want to buy GMO, and the US grows so much GMO, and so it's been a big issue. What is next for Cibus?
So the next phase is really our execution for the commercialization. The technology we've perfected, we've worked out exactly what traits are really valuable for farmers and also for seed companies. And so the next couple of years for us is getting material into the hands of our customers, and they will go through the process of doing field trials and bulking up inventory to start selling to customers. We're fortunate. We've got relationships now with some of the largest seed companies in the world. We're definitely a global opportunity, and I'm looking forward to collecting royalties on those traits because it's a yearly royalty. So every acre, every year, and then we'll use those funds to do the things I mentioned, like non-allergenic peanuts and other opportunities.
Oh, how interesting. Thank you so much, Dr. Beetham, for coming in and explaining all this.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
Thank
Thanks.
you.